I've been on that shit, I only vibe with a payday. Say you go that way, I guess we both go the same way.
So I cut the audio from the original video because it was like whispering and babbling and no one was here. So I'm taking the Wet n Wild foundation and I was just like dabbing it all over. At first I thought it was a bit yellow compared to my usual tones, and I got the lightest shade they had. And at first it seemed to be like settling into like everything, which I was worried about, but it eventually blended out really well. It did take quite a bit of work, and it was after I layered everything else that it actually started to look good. And I just blended it out with a damp beauty blender. With the eyebrow pencil, I found that it worked the same as most other eyebrow pencils. I actually don't mind using eyebrow pencils or like a crayon in this case. Usually work well, but like the tip for this one wasn't like thin enough to do hair-like strokes, and it was lighter than a color I'd usually go for, but it still worked well. I just follow the arch of my natural brow. I go like slightly above the lower part though because I want more like eye space. I ended up going over my brows like all throughout doing my makeup. Usually I only have to go over it like once or twice after I initially draw them on, but because it's so light I had to do a few more times over it, which wasn't fine, but I think it's just because the color was lighter than I normally go for. These are definitely worth the hype. I'd actually tried them like a few years ago when they just had the matte formulas, and I hated it, and I also didn't like anything matte because I feel like it just settles into the creases, especially if you have dry skin, which I do. However, the hydrating camo concealer was amazing, and I felt like it really worked, and especially for the way I used it when I had the darker one for the contour and the lighter for like a highlight. I found the lighter shade was a bit waterier than the darker shade, but I don't know if that was just like because of the formula itself or it was just like product settling, but just thought I should mention. The shade range was okay, but I feel like other brands have more ranges, but I feel like all brands never go to like the extreme size. They always have so many middle shades, which I guess makes sense, but there's never like really light shades or really dark shades, which is what I think all brands should work on. So yeah, this was the fairest one they had. It's not as bright as like the Fenty one I normally use. For concealer, I don't really like conceal like my pimples or anything. I just use concealer as like a highlighter and contour and just really only cover up my under eyes, and then I just blend everything out. For bronzer and contour, I usually use like darker concealer to contour as I did in this video, and I usually put it on an angled brush and just diffuse it on my face for a more natural finish. can start the shading for my nose contour. I just go under the tip, along that whole area, and then the sides. here you can see like my bronzer slash contour placement. Do it up high on my cheekbones, and then on my jawline I kind of bring it up in like a almost 90-degree angle to kind of sharpen it, because like though I have a sharp jawline, it's not like shape. And then put it across my forehead and on my chin, but I just like make a dot on my chin, because if you do it sideways, it's gonna make it look wider, as opposed to you can seem like you have no chin. And then for highlighter, I just highlight under my eyes, up to my temples, under my eyebrows, and on my forehead and nose. Yes, here I am going over my eyebrows again, because all the concealing kind of made them disappear. This bronzer was actually really nice. It had a nice matte finish, and it was easy to blend and layer on top of my contour. No complaints. It was pretty solid for a drugstore bronzer. It was like $10, so it's basically almost a regular price item. Here you can see I'm doing my nose contour. I basically just draw a penis on my nose and then darken the like underside of my nose, and just make sure to go all the way up to the eyebrows. And yes, I use beauty blender on top of powder and mix wet over dry, and I don't care, because in the end I'm gonna blend everything together. All I care about is a smooth, seamless finish. I don't care about your rules. Things from the drugstore slash TikTok recommended haul. The blush was beautiful, and for under $4 it was everything. Just perfect pink, and I'm pretty sure it's a NARS orgasm dupe as well. No rhyme or reason to my blush. I mean, I just put it on top of my like bronzer. I think Akira was talking about how I used to do e-girl blush, and would put it like literally all over my nose and cheeks and face, and how it actually went to class with that. And I just thought it was funny, because I don't know how I had that gumption, because that makeup makes you really stand out, and I don't really want to stand out that much. I do have to admit, everything looks a bit paler on camera. Even though the lighting is good, everything looks more like diminished. And here I am just showing a picture of the inspiration for the look. Obviously I'm not as tan nor as gorgeous, but whatever. I don't think this counts as a first impression, because I had this as like the loose powder, and I really love that. The HD finishing powder is amazing though. And I didn't have a powder puff, but I recommend a powder puff because it's the best finish you could ever get. Holding your bristles tight and close together gets you like the same effect though if you're in a pinch. And yes, I'm redoing my eyebrows yet again. Oh, and it's important to set like your T-zone like right by your nose and your forehead, because in flash photography or any type of photography, that's the part that's going to be shiniest. I left the audio in because it makes for great ASMR. The setting spray was pretty good. Honestly, it's hard to rate setting sprays. I did wear the makeup all day to work, and it stayed pretty much There was some creasing on the upper lid, but that was just because I didn't powder enough. I do go in with a beauty blender after I spray my setting spray to make sure everything's cohesive and beautiful and blended. And here I'm just tapping off the extra greasy lookingness from the T-zone. I bought this highlighter. I wish it had come like just as the highlighter part, but there was no color that was the same on its own, but it's very beautiful and worth it even if you're not going to use the other side. Just the perfect dual chrome of like rose gold and like regular gold, I guess. I don't have anything like it, but I think it would look better if I was tanned because obviously the yellow gold would pop more. Lastly, I was going to put on lashes. Lashes I had worn before, but I had cut them into 3 strips. And they looked okay, but they kind of were all over the place. I liked them a lot better this time when I put them on. I was able to, I cut the longest part off, and it made them very natural looking, like kind of like cute extension. Obviously, I put on mascara before putting on my lashes. The mascara is pretty good on its own too. It doesn't clump and it didn't flake off, which is the main thing I look for. I wish they made like dark brown lashes because it's already hard enough finding dark brown mascara, which I think sometimes looks better for like more natural looks. Someone needs to do that. Put my lashes on off camera because I can barely do it off camera anyway. I thought it looked super cute, much better when you trim off the longest edge and it still like flares out in a pretty way. I added mascara to my bottom lashes and I added more highlighter because I felt like it could have popped a little bit more. And here I'm just blending everything out again. I know NYX butter gloss is like old news, but it was my first time trying it. It's probably the first time I ever had like a tinted lip gloss that the tint actually showed up. One of the few things I didn't pick up for like a TikTok recommendation was a lip liner, just because I have like so many, and I mostly just use like the dark brown or nude shades. So I just picked one that I had that was close to my lip color. It was a little bit more pink, and then like overlined. I made the mistake of doing my usual lip routine by adding concealer into the middle, which looked very bad at this stage, but the gloss ended up saving the whole lip look. If you want my regular lip routine, I could definitely do a video on that. Final thoughts. Pretty much liked everything. I wasn't sure about the foundation at first, but I think it looks good. I mean, close up, I feel like foundation never looks good, but I have like texture and what have you, so. But I think it looks cute. Brows are light, but I feel like it's fine. Lashes are super cute. They pull the whole look together. Lips are nice. It looks less pale in person, but I think it's nice. I don't have an outro. I hope you enjoyed. Try out some of these drugstore makeup products, even though the full amount ends up being like $70. But if I had to pick a favorite, this blush, I think, to be honest. This blush was so pretty. I don't know. Everything else was like, it does its job. Impressive, but nothing to write home about. Thank you for watching.